What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's episode around number 3 of the Donington Park National Circuit here. 1.95 miles in length, 10 turns, and a little bit of rain is on the way. Yes, we're qualifying in the wet, so we have basically just started from our first qualifying lap. We were 1.2 seconds behind. Then we managed to get the tyres into a very good temperature and a very good region, so we set a pole lap time, and then sitting on pole in the wet, not too bad, so we launch off and get a very good start away from the chasing pack. So obviously we're just going to go straight into the first corner in the lead, still in the lead, so no one's going to really overtake. I think the AI in the wet aren't that great around some circuits. And then we're just going to cut straight on towards the end of the race, because it was pretty much, as you can see in the top left hand corner, or kind of see, formality for us, so another podium for ourselves. And you're wondering, my god, that was like 13 minutes on this, it's ended so quickly. Yep, that's because we're going straight into round number 4 at Silverstone International, 2.24 miles in length and 10 turns. And yep, unfortunately the British weather still hasn't gone away. It is a rainy, well, the light rain continues, but there is promise of even heavier rain coming into the race, so hopefully we'll get a good qualifying lap. We're sitting at the back of the grid at the moment, but what can we do going into qualifying? Let's have a look. So, P12 is upon us, back at the grid. A very miserable day to get us off. 5 red lights are out, and away we go for the Silverstone International Grand Prix. Not really, it's just a race at the Silverstone National, and we get away. We get one place up on the inside, and then there's a very slow gaggle of cars on the right hand or the inside of the corner, so we just go around the outside and we pick up another 3 places from our starting position. So we were P12, and going into turn 1, or coming out of turn 1, we find ourselves up into P7 now. Can we look to get, we're very close to the back of this yellow and black Ginetta Junior. We can all sense the dive bomb down the inside, but he's still there. Now we've managed to run him out of road. We're just going to cut a bit further down to the race, as not really much happened between the overtake for P7 to P6. Obviously we're catching up mainly during those intermission periods, but I do cut on a little bit, so there's not much to actually show you while I'm driving in between the little cuts. Coming to the last few corners, we're very close to P5 and in the blue Ginetta Junior, but they managed to get a much better traction run out of that corner going into the straights. They're going to get away from us a little bit, but we're going to catch them up towards the second part of the straight, as you see us closing that little bit quicker than they actually are going through. I think they're being a bit too cautious on the straight. Not too sure why you'd be cautious actually on the straight, however, though we do catch them up through turn number 1 as we are very much close to getting the slipstream. We're going to sense massive dive bomb, going to send it down the inside, managing to get the car stopped nicely on the track as we overtake car number 54 there, and are going into the second corner in. Then we're going to sense another dive bomb. Yes, we are. I think it's still going to be on the outside. We do cut the corner a little bit. Fortunately enough, we don't get track limits and a slowdown penalty, so they do still keep P4, though we are catching them with this slipstream down the back straight. I don't even know how we're getting a slipstream in the rain, but hey oh, we are still getting it during this massive wet race. I was expecting a few more puddles to form actually in the rain, because I know Silverstone is very prominent for its puddles in a lot of sectors, as you'll see on the right hand side there. We've just gone past the start of a formation of a very large puddle, which you're going to want to stick to the left hand side as you come out of that corner. Otherwise, if you go over the puddle, you will aquaplane massively and you'll probably spin out if you don't control it, though we don't have to worry about that, because by the time this race is over, that puddle will still be on the right hand side creeping over to the middle. But we get the massive traction out of that last corner, getting one overtake, like literally brushing up against his rear end and managing to find the left hand side overtake other than just sitting behind him on the straight. They would do go down the inside of the black and red Janetta Jr. I think he is still there though, so we are going to have to leave him the room. There we see the red arrow come alongside, and he's kind of, yeah, he is still there, and he will keep that position going through that corner. So an unfortunate, well, not an unfortunate, an unlucky non-overtake, though he does brake check us a little bit and slow down a bit quickly. We're going to try around the outside yes again, but we leave the door open for the car behind, but they still do stay behind us. Cutting a little bit further into the race now. Well, I say a little bit further into the race, it has literally only been 6 minutes since the start of this race has happened, and a lot of action has taken place. Wet races usually are quite spectacle, but then when you do start pole, like you said at the start of the episode, yeah, the AI don't really tend to do anything, so we can still come back from this being at the back of the grid. We don't really get the run on the number 37, but I think he just changes gear a little bit too soon, as we don't change it, and we change it a little bit later than he does, and we get the overspeed on him, and then we manage to get that overtake done nicely into turn number 1. Cutting along a little bit further on now into the race, we go round, or we're trying to look round the outside of P1, but they're still going to hold it there. We run a little bit wide, as you can see that red arrow come across our right hand side, as I believe it's going to be P3 look to make it down the inside. We're going to have to leave them a little bit of room for them to go, because they looked like they were still there, and I didn't really fancy spinning out at that point of the race, you know, being 6 minutes into the race, shall we say. As we look to go down the inside, it's going to turn around to the outside, so we're still going to have to give them the room, but I'm going to squeeze them a little bit just to make them slow down that little bit more than they would need to. So we do get up into that place, and we're going to look around the inside of P1 as we're going to tap their rear end. I think, you know, just watching the replay back, they did kind of turn into us. I mean, you know, we were there turning into the corner as well, but yeah, they turned into us a bit too much. We had to go over the grass and just cut the corner, as the game felt like we were, you know, cheating at that point. I'm not entirely sure how, but you know, they pushed us off the track, so you know, a bit miffed at that one, and the stewards kind of pissed me off really. But we're going to try and fight our way back quite aggressively up back into P2, overtaking him, and now we're going to have to catch up to P1, who is, wow, they are very far ahead now. They're at least a second ahead of us from the looks of things. They're about a second and a half. We're trying to pull it back, obviously going into what is usually a fast right-hander, but yeah, locking up on the rear, well, locking up on the brakes, running over the white paint on the outside of the track, and we put our foot down just to get going a little bit more again. But yeah, we spin the car out and we go straight to the back of the grid, and now we only have what I feel is 2 laps to get back up into P1 or to get back up into the podium. And right now all I'm thinking is just overtake, drive aggressively as fast as you can through each one of these corners. And you know, I know the AI is a little bit slower in the wet, but if I take more chances, brake later, and you know, I will get there. But you know, if only I drove that way during the start of the race, we probably would have had a formality going for us. But we didn't. We drove a little bit more cautiously. Now we're throwing caution to the wind once again, and we're just doing so much risky overtakes and so many dive bombs that I wouldn't really say is needed. But come the end of the race, we kind of need to still score some good points, because going into the last race, you know, we are still fighting for the championship. We haven't won it yet. That's not even in a comfortable position. We can still lose it going into the last race. So, you know, maximum amount of points here will definitely help our chances of winning the championship going into the last race at Brands Hatch. And that is a track that I haven't raced at just yet. I mean, I've, you know, doing practice there, but on the simulator, but other than that, it is literally just racing here. So, you know, we're getting some of the overtakes up into P5 once again. 1 more lap to go. Now it's going to be P4 just before the last lap, so we have made up some good ground, and you know, we're needing to get back on that podium position. So I think we can do it. Oh, we just tagged number 21's car, and we just tag him again. He braked so much earlier than we would have liked, but we managed to get past him. But we don't lose too much time, and quite frankly, not a lot of damage has been caused. We dive bombed down the inside of both P2 and P1. Not sure that move was entirely legal, but we will take the position and we'll take P1, and now we just have to stay comfortable. Stay comfortable? Yeah, that corner was a bit hairy and a bit not needed really, as yeah, going into the last corner, it is pretty much all set in stone now, unless we span it here. No, we haven't. So just drive straight and you've won. That's all I need to do. And there we have it. We have won the Silverstone International Circuit. 35 points to our name, and the championship is still in our grasp. Well, hope you enjoyed this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.